All right, so this is example 1 of lesson 4-8 for Math 7, geometry word problems. So example 1. The wall in Sam's family room is 13 4/5 feet long. He wants to install a shelf that is 3 2/5 feet long in the center of the wall. How many feet from each side of the wall must the shelf be so it is centered? Okay, so remember, just like with our previous ones, we're going to definitely start off with a let statement. So again, first is a let statement. So again, the let statement comes directly from what the question is asking us. So this is asking us how many feet from each side of the wall must the shelf be so it is centered. So that means my let statement is going to say, let x equal the number of feet from each side of the wall. And again, that came directly from the problem. The feet from each side of the wall. All right, so now my first time looking at this problem, I had a really hard time putting this together until I drew a picture. So that is another big thing that we're going to throw up here, is going to be draw pictures. They are helpful. They will help you to make sense of what is going on in this problem. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a wall. Okay, let's draw a wall. Boom, wall drawn. We know that this room is 13 4/5 feet long. So that means this whole length from one side to the next is 13 4/5. I have a feeling we're going to want to take that 13 4/5 and turn it into a improper fraction soon because it's ugly. Not that it's ugly, it's easier to work with. Actually, why don't we do that now? So again, 13 times 5 in the denominator is 65 plus 4 is 69. So that's equal to 69/5. And so what he wants to do is put a shelf in that is 3 2/5 feet long, but he wants it in the center. So that means that we're going to put a shelf in the center. We'll approximate that as the center, even though clearly maybe that's the center. And we know that this shelf is 3 2/5 feet long, or we can simplify that and convert that to 5 times 3 is 15, 16, 17 over 5. Okay, so we have a picture of some sort. We have a wall, and we have our picture frame in the middle, our shelf in the middle of the wall. Again, the question was asking us how many feet from each side of the wall must the shelf be? So that means we're looking for here to here, that's going to be x. And from here to here, we know that's going to be the same, which is also x, because it has to be the same, otherwise it's not going to be in the middle, right? It has to be the same amount of distance from both sides of the wall in order for the shelf, to be in the middle there. All right, so now that I have a diagram here, I can use this diagram to create an equation. So second is to make an equation, if you have it. So again, think about what it has to be equal to. What is this total here? What number in this problem is like my total? And that would be the 13 4/5. So I'm going to use that. That's going to be equal to 13 4/5. So now, how do I get up to that 13 4/5? Well, I need to add the length of the shelf, right? That shelf, that 3 2/5. And I need to add the x's to that, and that would get me the entire length, right? If I have this from here to here is x, from here to here is x, and then this is the 3 2/5, adding all those together would get me that entire length. or that total length. So now we can solve. My x plus x gives me 2x. I'm going to now convert that 3 2/5 back to the 17/5 that we had before. The 13 4/5 I'm going to convert back to the 69/5. And you have, despite the fractions there, you have a relatively normal two-step equation. Get the 2x by itself first by minusing the 17/5 to both sides. Luckily for you, I made your life easy and have those common denominators set up. So 69 minus 17 leaves me with 52 over 5. Last but not least, get rid of the 2 that's being multiplied by x by dividing both sides by 2. And that leaves us off with an answer of, so I have to do 52 divided by 5 and then divide that by 2. So 52 divide 5 and then divide that by 2 to get 5.2 feet. Or if you're wanting to do this by hand, you would take your 52/5, we're dividing it by 2 over 1. Good old school fraction division, keep change flip. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 52, 20, 52 divided by 2, 26 times. 26 over 5, which is 5 1/5. Or 5 1/5 feet. Either way, the last thing is an answer sentence. And you can use the fraction or the decimal here because it wasn't repeating. So the shelf should be 5.2 feet from each side. And there's that problem. You'll probably run into at least one of those in some other way, shape, or form.